Guys, Mighty Gazelle here with a different kind of video that I typically cover on my channel. If you guys remember last year, specifically last fall, I had a series on my channel, NFL Picks. I'm a huge NFL fan. I'm a big Vikings fan specifically. And last year I decided to lend my thoughts into the ring of NFL picks because I like the idea. It's fun. I like to talk about NFL. I understand I don't cover sports on this channel. I cover mainly anime and video games. But for those of you who are out there who do like this sort of thing, this is just a quick video I can make every week and give my thoughts about the world that is NFL. So I understand I don't do these for views or anything like that, and I don't expect a lot every week. But for those of you who are fans and would like this sort of thing, I'm here to provide some knowledge. I'm not the most knowledgeable NFL fan, but I know a decent amount. And last year I had to cut it halfway short because one of the weeks where I was, well, let's just say if you've been following my channel last year, we lost our dog. We had to put him down. And it happened in the middle of the week, and that week I didn't do any of the NFL pick videos because I was just emotionally shot. And then from there on out, it ruined the mojo of the series. But this year, thank God, there's nothing crazy like that going on in my life. So I'm going to sit down, go through all the games, and give you guys my picks. For anyone who wants to keep track of how I'm doing, that's fine. I'm not really going to keep track of how I'm doing myself. This is more for fun. And so don't go gambling with my picks or anything like that. This is just good old simple shooting the breeze with the football. So we have week one. The first game already happened, and I apologize for being a little bit late. I meant to record this earlier in the week. Typically, these will go up on Wednesdays. The first game was Packers and Bears. I actually had the Packers picked in my sports pick'em league that I'm in. I picked the Packers. I just felt Aaron Rodgers in primetime versus Mitch Trubisky. And lo and behold, that's what happened, although not how I expected. It was a much lower scoring game than anyone would have anticipated. Actually, maybe not anyone. The defenses, specifically Chicago's, is great. So yeah, that's the first game. I picked the Packers, but obviously it's going to sound like I'm saying that now because they won. But just telling you guys the truth. Next, we have Falcons at Vikings. Like I said, I'm a huge Vikings fan. And this is probably one of the better games of the week, and I'm not being biased. I'm talking mainly from a matchup perspective. The Falcons in recent years have not been as great as they were in their Super Bowl run. Specifically, earlier on in the seasons, they don't get hot till late. The last couple of years, when I mean late, I mean like November, December. But everything on paper looks good for their team. Their defense isn't anything to write home about, but their offense still has Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, etc. So they should be pretty solid. And meanwhile, you have the Vikings, who disappointed last year with an 8-7-1 record. And Kirk Cousins, who rightfully so has been criticized about his ability to produce in big-time games. And, well, who do I expect to win this game? I honestly don't. It could go either way, but I'm going to go with the Vikings purely because home field. They have a really good record in their home stadium because the crowd gets really loud, which is awesome. And I just like their team overall. I think Dalvin Cook's going to have a big year. The defense is stacked. I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. I hope that this year with the new offensive coordinator, things will go more smoothly. So yeah, take the Vikings in that game. Next we have Bills at Jets. Both teams are kind of on the up and up this year. The Jets obviously have Sam Darnold, and the Bills have Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I'm not the biggest Josh Allen fan, but I can see why people like him as a quarterback because he is a dual threat. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's not necessarily the most accurate, but I think that'll improve over time. He's a great runner. Gives defenses headaches, and is going against a Jets team that has Le'Veon Bell now. And like I said, Sam Darnold is their up-and-coming quarterback. I think he's pretty good. I don't think he's on the same level as like Baker Mayfield, but he's a pretty good quarterback. Got a good head on his shoulders. Man, this is on Jets turf. Okay, I'm gonna go with the Jets. because I don't know. Week 1 is tough in the NFL. You don't really know what's going to happen. And I just got a weird feeling that the Jets will come out and win a game. Like I said, Josh Allen is. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he's very talented, and he could give defenses some trouble. But I do think the Jets are primed for a decent season this year, like 8 wins, maybe 9, if things go right for them. And yeah, this is also a divisional game, so it's hard to pick. But I'm going to go with the Jets, home field. When in doubt in week 1, go home field if you can't decide. Next, we have Redskins at Eagles. This is one of the easier matchups of the week in terms of deciding a winner. Obviously, we don't know anything until the score has been settled, but the Redskins have, who do they have? They have Case Keenum at quarterback, and a super old running back in Adrian Peterson, who I still think can run the ball well, as I've watched him a lot of his career, but they just have so many issues on the Redskins. What is their identity? What are they going to do? Like attack you through the air with Case Keenum? Attack you on the ground with old running back? The running back, I can't remember his name. The rookie they had last year was really promising. Tore his ACL in the preseason. He's back. How healthy is he, you know? Meanwhile, going to an Eagles team, Carson Wentz, I feel like he's removed enough from his injury to where he should regain some of his former glory. And what I mean by that is his 2016 or was it 2017 season where he was just lights out. He was dynamite. And I feel like in Philadelphia, great home field advantage. The defense will come to play. Just give me the Eagles. I feel like this is one of the bigger mismatch of the week. But like I said, anything can happen. It wouldn't shock me if the Redskins went in there in week 1 and won. But the Redskins are one of the more talent-deprived teams, I think, in the NFL right now. So that is that pick. Next we have Colts at Chargers. Biggest headline of the offseason this year was Colts losing Andrew Luck to retirement. I was literally at a friend's house. We're all hanging out, and we're like, holy shit, Andrew Luck retired. Like, we looked at our phones, and yeah, just like everyone else in the NFL community, it was a shock. So that leaves them with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. The rest of the team is actually still pretty good. They have like T.Y. Hilton and whatnot, and it's just a matter of how much they can rally around Jacoby Brissett, which I think they can. I think the team is still solid. They're going to a Chargers team where the home field advantage isn't that great in terms of like crowd noise and just in general. But the Chargers team, I feel like people are kind of sleeping on them a little bit because with all the stuff going on with Melvin Gordon, people just kind of write off their offense for whatever reason. They still have Phillip Rivers, and they still have a great receiving core. The line could be better. I won't deny that. But the defense will definitely be there to play. Joey Bosa is going to make Brissett's day a living hell, I think, week 1. But, okay, I'm going to go with Chargers. I know that's kind of like the more obvious pick here. But I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on the Chargers this year. I don't think it'll be as close as people say. I do like the Colts, even though they lost Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was like one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. So it's kind of a bummer. But I'm going to go Chargers. I think they get the job done. By the way, it's kind of cool seeing, because before when I did the series, I only had the one monitor, so now I can actually look and see the matchups on the side, and that's really nice. So yeah, I'm glad I have upgraded my setup. Giants at Cowboys. Okay, is this the final tour for Eli Manning? Is he going to be done after this season? Or even like halfway through the season? Daniel Carlson has looked really good in preseason, and I think his play shortened Eli's leash a little bit during the season. I mean, they already have Saquon Barkley ready to go. The rest of the team, the defense is terrible. The Giants might have one of the worst defenses in the NFL, but their offense has some pieces. They have a kind of okay offensive line, and they have Shepard at tight end, and they have some receiving options, obviously Saquon Barkley. So I don't think they're like necessarily one of the worst teams in the NFL or anything, but they're not top either. They're kind of like middle of the pack, slightly below middle of the pack, especially with Eli. With Daniel Carlson, I think they're like middle to slightly above middle, maybe on a good day. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But they're going to the Cowboys, who Zeke just signed a monster contract, and who knows how he's going to play after that, you know? People get inspired in different ways, and money tends to inspire a lot of people to show that they're worth what they got. And not to mention, they signed their offensive linemen to new contracts, and I feel like the mojo around that team is pretty good right now. I expect the Cowboys to make a playoff push this year, not necessarily win the championship or anything, but to make the playoffs and make some noise. I would not be surprised. They're my pick to win the division, even over the Eagles. So yeah, give me the Cowboys in a kind of close game, but I think they'll handle their business. We have Lions at Cardinals. Cardinals might be the worst team in the NFL right now. They just have so many spots on their roster that need help, and they need help bad. I know they have a new quarterback, and he looks great in the preseason, but his line just looks so terrible. And if there's any Cardinals fans watching, I deeply apologize. I don't mean to sound overly negative, but I don't think you guys should expect more than 6 wins this season. But that's okay, because you're going to get a good pick, like a high pick. You're going to build for the future. I think you have a quarterback in place who's very promising. Even the Lions aren't that strong of an opponent because I like Matthew Stafford. I've watched him for years being in the NFC North. I don't know if the guy they got for their coach is very good. The guy who came from the Patriots. The name's escaping me right now. But he's a defensive-minded coach, and I don't know if they have the pieces in place to really bully teams. But they're definitely good enough to go to Arizona and win. So I'm going to go with the Lions here. Okay, we're almost halfway through. When the bye weeks start happening, this gets easier. But until then, we have a lot to go through. Almost halfway. Monday night, we have Texans at Saints. Pretty short and simple. I'm going to go with the Saints. I feel like a lot of teams are sleeping on the Saints. When I say sleeping, there's people who expect them to go far again, and there's people who think, oh, no, they're done. Drew Brees is finally going to hit that ceiling where they're not playing that well. And I can see that. I mean, obviously, he's like, 41 now? 42? 41. And, people don't play well forever. But it is in New Orleans. I think that home crowd is going to be roaring. It always is in New Orleans. And the Texans, they just got done. So there's a big trade thing that happened recently where they got rid of Jadeveon Clowney. They got Laramie Tunsil from the Dolphins. But I don't think it's like too much negative or too much positive. I think Clowney's a fine player, but I don't think he make or break that defense. And them gaining offensive tackle is good, and he seems like a good player, but he's just joining your team. His rapport with his fellow linemen is not going to be there. He's still got to learn the playbook if he hasn't already by the time of this game. So, take what you will there. But I do think that the Saints will win. I like Drew Brees, and no disrespect to Deshaun Watson, but that's just what I think. I think Saints win there. All right, now we have the second half of games. We have Chiefs at Jaguars. Not that this every week I'll tell you guys when I'm picking for my survivor pool pick. I'm in a survivor pool where you have to pick an NFL team that you think will win, and if you get it right, you move on to the next week. If not, you're out. I have 2 spots in this league, and one of my picks this week was the Chiefs. I'm going to submit them tomorrow. I'm recording this on Friday night. And I'm going to submit that tomorrow. I'm picking the Chiefs to win over the Jaguars. I feel really confident about this. Nick Foles, nothing against the guy. What he did in Philadelphia was phenomenal and quite honestly one of the most amazing things to ever happen in the NFL. I do not think he is a franchise quarterback, though. I think he served his divine purpose in the NFL already. And what I mean is, I feel like he was, meant to do what he did in Philly. But I don't think he's meant to, lead a team elsewhere. I think that was just his thing, and that's fine. He's going to be regarded as a hero forever in Philadelphia. But in the Jaguars team, where they just don't have a lot of pieces, their receiver core, I can't even name one person who's a receiver for that team. Yeah, I just don't know. The Jaguars, I feel like are going to be really bad this year. I think the defense could still be okay, but when you're going against the Chiefs, you got to be better than okay. That's Patrick Mahomes time, baby. He's going to shred you guys. Even if they do contain Mahomes a little bit. I don't think the Jaguars' offense can keep up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, and I'll lose a spot in my survivor pool. Would not surprise me. But also, my other pick of the week was the Eagles. Week one's always tough for these survivor pools, but you do the best you can. And I just noticed my camera's kind of shaking, and I apologize if I'm hitting the table, but I'm excited at it. I like football. Okay. All right. Next, we have the Chiefs win over Jaguars. My opinion. Titans at the Browns. Exciting game for a lot of reasons. The Browns are like one of the most hyped up teams over the offseason. People really, I think that Baker Mayfield is like the most exciting quarterback in the NFL right now, barring maybe Mahomes. I just like watching him play. He's got like moxie. He's not afraid to like take chances, but they're not dumb chances. You know what I mean? Like you just watch someone and you like, man, that guy is fun to watch. He's fun on the sidelines. He's got a personality to him. He's definitely someone I would like to be as like the quarterback of the Vikings, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The Browns, the reason they're so hyped up is their team has been improved upon greatly over the offseason, as well as the last few years in drafting. And I think they're finally primed to be a team that you can actually kind of fear in the NFL. Meanwhile, the Titans with Mariota, I don't know. It's tough. I feel like every year they change a new offensive coordinator or coach. I don't know if that's actually the case, but they don't really have anything established. I also heard reports that like one of their left, I think it's their left tackle, he suspended the first 4 games. That is not good, especially against this Browns front. I think they run a 4-3. That could be trouble for him. I don't know. I feel like this smells like a Browns victory to me. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Browns until I see them do it, but they look great, and I got to go by that. So next we have the Ravens at the Dolphins. This is one of the picks that I debated going with the Ravens as my surefire survival pool pick, but something about the Dolphins, and maybe it's because everyone's bagging on them and saying how they're the worst team in the NFL, which they very well might be. I'm not denying that. But Ryan Fitzpatrick has proven to be a madman sometimes. And it just comes out of nowhere. You never know what's going to drop. But he's going to get like 2 or 3 games a year where he's just like on fire and it makes no sense. But then he like falls off a cliff and he's like really mediocre again. So I avoid this game because I want to see what the Dolphins are really like. And it is in Miami. And the Ravens are flying down a long ways. So, weirder things happen. So I avoided this game. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to say this is my upset pick of the week. I think the Dolphins will win against the Ravens. And the Ravens have a great team, especially that defense. Oh my God, they're nasty. But I have a weird feeling about it. I feel like the Dolphins are going to win. And these are picks just for fun anyway. So, doesn't matter a whole lot. But yeah, I'm going to go with Dolphins upset win over the Ravens. Next, we have the Rams at the Panthers. Being out here in California, all I hear about all the time, all year long, is the Rams. They're covered extensively just on articles and things like that. I think they're a fine team. I think Sean McVay is a great coach. And they're going to a Panthers team that I've heard a lot of people hype up as well. I guess I'm just not as high on the Panthers as some people are. I think Cam Newton's a good quarterback, but he's hurt right now. And he got hurt again in the preseason. And from what it sounds like, he's not 100% healthy for this game. And I can only think, like, either Cam could, like, really step it up while he's hurt and play phenomenally and they'll win. Or, I don't know, the injury is going to be a big concern for him. I really don't know. This is the biggest toss-up game of the week, in my opinion. I'll go with the Panthers because it is home field, and that Carolina has a great home crowd in terms of like rallying, and they have the drum they hit. Keep pounding, I think, is their saying. I'll go with the Panthers. That's a really close one though. Don't take too much into that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Panthers. Bengals at Seahawks. This is another game I debated picking. Seahawks, Russell Wilson is perhaps the best quarterback in the NFL right now. And I know that sounds weird, because obviously most people would say Patrick Mahomes or even Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, but like if if Russell Wilson was on a better team, he's got a great coach, but like the team around him, if he had the pieces that some of these other people have, terrifying. I've seen Russell Wilson terrify the Vikings every time he's played them for the past like 6 years, or however long Russell Wilson's been playing now. And they're welcoming a Bengals team that I think everyone is absolutely shitting on. There's not giving the Bengals team a chance. I'm not saying they have a great chance either. No one knows who the hell their head coach is, and I'm sure people do, but like, what does he have like on his track record? Man, and Andy Dalton, I don't know. Like, the whole Bengals situation is so weird to me. I don't know what they're going to be. Their roster isn't that bad, but also it's got so many holes in it. Their offensive line could be terrible, but then again, it's just like, it's Andy Dalton. Like, he's so weird. Like, not him as a person, but like how he plays. Sometimes he's fantastic. Other times he's really mediocre. I guess more oftentimes he's just kind of like middle of the road solid, but he has moments where he's great. It's another case of week 1 being difficult to pick, but I'll go with the Seahawks. Home field advantage. I'll give that to them. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that game. I think the Seahawks. I didn't pick this game because I think the Bengals are too unpredictable for me for the survivor pool thing. So I'm just going to wait and see for them. Niners at Buccaneers. The Niners, are they going to be the team that people have said they would be this year? Because the past like 2 years, or however long Jimmy G's been there, it's like, oh, they've got Shanahan as coach. I think it's Shanahan, right? Anyway, as coach, they got Jimmy G at quarterback. But man, they just keep getting injured. Like over the offseason and over the preseason, their players are getting injured. Sometimes their drafted players aren't panning out. And you just got to wonder, like, is it ever going to happen? Will it happen against the Bucs with Bruce Arians as their head coach now and Jameis Winston? I'm going to say the Buccaneers win this game, and here's why. San Francisco 49ers flying across the country, literally almost as far as you can go, to Florida to play the Bucs. No one's really talking about the Bucs, and I think that makes them sneaky. I don't think they're necessarily a good team, but Bruce Arians, I respect the dude. Respect Bruce Arians. He's a good coach, and all the players he's ever coached love him. So, give me the Bucs. I don't know if you call this an upset. I don't know who's favored. I'm looking at NFL schedule, so it's not showing who's favored and who's not. I'm gonna go with the Bucs. I think it'll be a close game. It wouldn't surprise me either way who wins. But yeah. Sunday night football. I think this is the Sunday night game. We have Steelers at Patriots. Everyone wants the Patriots to lose. Every year. Every time they add another ring to Tom Brady's finger, the hatred just grows across the country. Everywhere outside of New England, that is. And I'm not one of those people. I'm not someone who really despises the Patriots or anything. But I am excited for whenever their dynasty ends. Because I like new storylines. And the Patriots storyline is kind of stale at this point. They've made their point. They've established that they're the greatest team in history, the greatest dynasty in history, however you want to call it. Done. It's in the record books, and it's never getting reached again. The span of 20 years, they've terrorized the league, and they've stacked multiple wins on like each end of the spectrum. In the middle, there was kind of a drought, a little bit, but consistency, baby. They're like always in the championship game. And you have the Steelers, who no longer have Le'Veon Bell. You don't have Antonio Brown, but maybe that's a good thing after the antics he's put himself through. That's a whole different conversation right there. So the Killer Bees are down to just one sad, lonely bee. Ben Roethlisberger. Did I say his name wrong? Wow. Who I'm not a big fan of, but if you're going to beat the Patriots, the first 3 weeks are the time to beat them. They always kind of get off to a slow start. Not always. That's not true. But you know what, Steelers fans? You get a win in week 1. There you go. I pick you guys to win. I think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be 30-7. And then the whole NFL world will freak the frick out. And then the Patriots will still end up winning the Super Bowl. That's my prediction. Last game, Monday Night Football. The doubleheader. We have a doubleheader Monday night. The other one was Texans Saints. The late night game, we have Broncos and Raiders. A really interesting choice for a Monday night game. Okay. Two teams that I don't particularly have any confidence in. Broncos and Raiders. Broncos and Raiders. They end in a tie. That's right. I am picking a tie. I'm picking a frickin' tie for week 1. Has that ever happened in a pick show for anyone to pick a tie? I'm doing it. I think it'll be a 17-17 tie. Broncos have Joe Flacco, and the Raiders obviously have Derek Carr. The Raiders, actually, you know what? Let me back up a bit. I'm not going to tie. I'll say the Raiders win. And I think Antonio Brown will go off. I think he'll just have a fantastic game. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and they win the game. Although it'd be really funny now if they tied. I could have accurately called a tie, but no. I'm going to go Raiders. I don't have much confidence in either team, but yeah. All right. So those are my picks for week 1 of the NFL 2019 season. This is the 100th year of the NFL. Really cool. They should have a lot of cool celebrations about that throughout the year. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I understand this isn't what I normally do on my channel, but it's a lot of fun. I love football. And at the end of the day, my channel is just kind of me doing things I enjoy and spreading that with others who also might enjoy it. So expect these to go up on Wednesdays every week. I'll record them on Tuesday nights, go up on Wednesday before the Thursday night stuff. This one came out very late. I did not intend for it to come out this late. But so, hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, this has been Mighty Gazelle, hoping you all have a mighty day. See you guys.